Hey everyone, welcome to our channel. The place where curiosity meets entertainment. From jaw-dropping celebrity drama to the stories that shape our world, we bring you fresh, honest, and binge-worthy content every week. So buckle up, hit that subscribe button, and join our growing family, because the story starts here. Let's start with the most emotionally essential, Monica Dutton, Kayce's wife. Without Monica, Kayce isn't complete. Their love has always been a storm, tragic, turbulent, and somehow still tender. Their union bridges two worlds, the modern-day ranching empire of the Duttons and the native heritage Monica fiercely protects. If Monica doesn't return in the spin-off, the heart of Kayce's moral conflict evaporates. She's the compass he always tries to follow, even when it leads him away from the Yellowstone ranch. Her absence would not only erase Kayce's connection to Broken Rock, but also flatten the spiritual layers that make him more than just another stoic cowboy. Imagine this. Kayce, alone on the plains, haunted not just by war memories, but by the ghosts of the life he couldn't save, his child, his tribe, his wife. Monica's presence, even as a spiritual echo, is crucial to this narrative. Will she follow him to wherever the new series is set? Or will her refusal be the catalyst that sends him into emotional exile? Sheridan knows emotional stakes matter. Without Monica, Kayce's story is a horse with no rider. You can't write about Kayce without writing about Tate, his son, his future, his reason for every hard decision he's made. Tate isn't just a boy caught between cultures. He's the embodiment of what Yellowstone has always wrestled with: who gets to inherit the land, the history, and the future. Tate has already endured a kidnapping, a shootout, and near-death experiences. In many ways, he's already had a more traumatic upbringing than his father. But a spin-off gives the writers a chance to explore whether Tate embraces the Dutton legacy, the long heritage, or forges something new altogether. Here's a powerful narrative option. What if Kayce, now estranged from both his father and the ranch, tries to raise Tate in isolation, off the grid, away from the sins of the past? But fate drags them back into conflict, maybe a new land dispute, maybe revenge for old enemies, or maybe just the gravity of Dutton blood calling them back to Montana. Tate's growth, choices, and conflicts will be the soul of the spin-off. Without him, Kayce has no legacy and no future to protect. Rip Wheeler and Kayce have a strange relationship. They've fought, bled, and occasionally shared a mutual respect. Rip is John Dutton's enforcer, his dark side incarnate.
Kayce
is the more morally nuanced son, reluctant to kill unless forced, and yet they need each other. Why Rip? Because no other character represents the evolution or erosion of the Dutton code like he does. If the spin-off explores how the next generation handles violence, vengeance, and loyalty, Rip becomes the perfect foil or mentor. Even better, what if Rip and Kayce, long rivals, are forced to align in the spin-off? Picture this: a new threat to the Dutton name rises. John is gone. Beth is unreachable. Rip finds Kayce living in a secluded wilderness cabin, trying to forget the world. He arrives not as a threat, but as a brother in arms. Their uneasy alliance could drive some of the best tension the spin-off has to offer. Their dynamic is one of unresolved tension, and unresolved tension is TV gold. Thomas Rainwater is more than a tribal leader. He's a visionary, a strategist, and one of the few people Kayce has ever respected enough to listen to. Their alliance was never solid, but it was always intriguing. Rainwater is a character that gives the Yellowstone universe its socio-political dimension. He represents the future, the reclamation of stolen land. In the long game, removing Rainwater from the spin-off would be like removing the conscience of the land. With him, the show can explore deeper themes: indigenous sovereignty, corporate exploitation, and spiritual legacy. Imagine Rainwater visiting Kayce not to recruit him, but to warn him, the land you're hiding on, the peace you think you've found, it's not yours. Not anymore. His presence elevates the story from a personal revenge tale to a saga about who deserves to write the next chapter of American West. Beth. Just her name conjures fire, poison, and poetry. She's chaos incarnate and Kayce's sister. Their relationship hasn't been deeply explored, but the few interactions they've shared hint at a complex, grudging respect. Here's why Beth matters. Kayce might be the soul of the Duttons, but Beth is its mouth, foul, fierce, and unfiltered. If John dies or disappears, as hinted for Yellowstone's final episodes, Beth becomes the de facto head of the family. And if Kayce walks away from the ranch, again, Beth won't let him forget it. Beth's appearance, even in just a few episodes, would inject the spinoff with the vitriol and venom fans crave. Her unpredictability would offset Kayce's brooding calm, a perfect recipe for explosive drama. Plus, who wouldn't want to see Beth light a cigar in Kayce's quiet cabin, call him a coward, and dare him to reclaim the empire he abandoned? Chapter 6. Jamie Dutton, the betrayer still. Bleeding Jamie is perhaps the most Shakespearean figure in Yellowstone. The adopted son, the traitor, the lair-turned-pariah. His arc is full of betrayal, redemption, and tragedy. And his connection to Kayce is arguably the least explored sibling dynamic in the series. But in a spin-off, there's rich opportunity. What if Jamie, presumed dead or exiled, reappears? Not as an enemy, but as a man haunted by the legacy he tried to destroy. His interactions with Kayce could swing between hostility and heartbreaking honesty. Do you ever think we were just pawns in Dad's war? Jamie might ask Dot, and Kayce, torn between rage and empathy, might see in Jamie the final mirror of what happens when loyalty becomes self-destruction. Whether they reconcile, fight, or simply pass each other like ghosts, Jamie's presence is essential. He is the Dutton secret Kayce tries to bury but can never escape. Now here's a wild card. Avery, the former Dutton ranch hand who harbored feelings for Kayce, disappeared mysteriously after a short, intriguing arc. But what if her story isn't over? What if she re-emerges stronger, more determined, perhaps even on the opposite side? She's a narrative grenade. She could be a threat to Kayce and Monica's strained marriage, or a surprising ally in a new frontier. And consider the dramatic irony. Monica might finally accept her husband's path, only to find that someone from his past is already standing in his future. Sheridan loves resurrecting forgotten characters. Avery's return could spark tension, romance, or war. Chapter 8, John Dutton's ghost, or echo even if Kevin Costner doesn't return as John Dutton in the flesh. His ghost will ride every trail Kayce takes, whether through flashbacks, dreams, or letters. John's presence must echo through the spinoff. Kayce's every decision has been either a rebellion against or a reflection of his father's ideology. And now, with John possibly gone, how does Kayce carry the name? Does he rebuild the empire or let it die with dignity? A world without John Dutton is a world Kayce doesn't know how to navigate, which makes watching him try all the more tragic and powerful. Let's not forget the biggest character in Yellowstone. The land, Montana, or wherever the spinoff is set, must be more than a backdrop. It must breathe. Kayce's connection to the earth, his visions, his spiritual journey, all of that is rooted in the land. If the spinoff moves to a new region, that region must have soul. Not just desert or forest, but history, blood, scars. The environment must challenge Kayce. Spiritually and physically, perhaps the land itself fights back through fire, floods, visions, or even supernatural elements. Sheridan hinted at mysticism in Kayce's vision quest. Why not go deeper? Imagine a scene. Kayce sees wolves again, not real ones, but ones that speak, guide, and warn. The land becomes prophecy, and he is its reluctant messenger.